Yo, Eritrea, where'd you come from? Alright people, gather round, let's talk Eritrea. This small but mighty nation on the Horn of Africa has a history that's as rich and diverse as its landscapes. This ain't your average geography lesson, this is history, baby. We're diving deep into the annals of time. We're going way back, before Instagram, before sliced bread, to a time when Eritrea was chilling with the big dogs of the ancient world. Imagine a place bustling with life, culture, and innovation. We're talking the Kingdom of Aksum, a powerhouse that even the Romans knew about. This wasn't just any kingdom, it was a major player on the world stage. These guys were the real deal, trading gold, ivory, you name it. They had connections far and wide, making Eritrea a crucial hub in ancient trade networks. They even had their own alphabet. That's right, they were literate and left behind inscriptions that tell us their stories. Now that's what I call lit. Eritrea was bumpin', a cultural hub, the place to be. It was a melting pot of ideas, traditions, and innovations. But like all good parties, the good times didn't last forever. The rise and fall of empires left their mark on Eritrea. Empires rose and fell, and Eritrea found itself caught in the middle. It was a land of strategic importance, often contested by powerful neighbors. It's like being the only sober one at a family reunion. Things can get messy. The region saw its fair share of conflicts and upheavals, but through it all, the Eritrean spirit, that fire, it never went out. The people of Eritrea held on to their identity and culture with fierce pride. So next time someone asks you about Eritrea, you can hit them with some ancient history. Drop some knowledge about its glorious past and resilient spirit. They'll be all, whoa, Eritrea's been around that long? And you'll see the amazement in their eyes, and you'll be like, yeah dude, Eritrea's OG. Mic drop. So remember, Eritrea's story is one of endurance, culture, and history. Italians doing Italian things again. So picture this, it's the late 19th century, everyone's scrambling for a piece of Africa, carving up the continent like it's a pie at a family dinner, and Italy's like, hey, we want in on this action too. They were late to the party but determined to make their mark. And that, my friends, is how Eritrea ended up as an Italian colony. They saw an opportunity and seized it, hoping to expand their influence. Now the Italians, they loved their espresso, their fashion, and apparently colonizing countries. They brought their culture with them, trying to recreate a slice of Italy abroad. They rolled into Eritrea with big plans to create Little Italy on the Red Sea. They envisioned a thriving colony that mirrored their homeland. They built fancy buildings, brought over pasta because priorities, and even tried to teach everyone Italian. They wanted to make Eritrea a true extension of Italy. Spoiler alert? It didn't quite work out as planned. The local population wasn't too thrilled about being colonized. But hey, you gotta give them credit for one thing. They sure knew how to make a mean macchiato. Their coffee culture left a lasting impression. And let's be real, those Italian-influenced buildings in Asmara, still looking fly. The architecture remains a testament to their ambitious plans. But colonization, as we all know, is never a good look. It brought hardship and resistance from the local people. The Eritrean people were like, this whole being ruled by another country thing? Not really our jam. They fought back, determined to reclaim their land. And so began their long and difficult journey towards independence. It was a struggle, but their resilience eventually led to freedom. Brits with a side of independence, please. Fast forward to World War II, a time when the world was in chaos and empires were crumbling. The Italians, well, let's just say their whole empire thing wasn't going so well. Their grand plans were falling apart faster than a poorly made pizza. Enter the British, stage left, ready to kick some Axis butt. They saw an opportunity and they took it, marching into Eritrea with all the confidence of a seasoned actor. They swooped into Eritrea, sent those pasta-loving colonizers packing, and were all set to, you guessed it, colonize it themselves. The British were like, hey, we can do this better. But the Eritrean people were like, hold up a minute. We didn't trade one colonizer for another. They had their own ideas about freedom and independence. They had tasted freedom, and they weren't about to give it up that easily. The spirit of independence was strong, and they were ready to fight for it. It was like ordering a pizza and getting anchovies twice. Nobody wanted that, especially not the Eritreans. Not cool, man, not cool. The Eritreans were not about to settle for a second helping of colonial rule. So, while the Brits were busy sipping tea and wondering what to do with this small but mighty nation, the Eritrean people started organizing. They formed political parties, they strategized, and they built a movement. They held protests, massive gatherings that showed their unity and determination. They basically started throwing shade so hard, even the British Empire couldn't handle it. The message was clear. Eritrea wanted out. The writing was on the wall, or rather, the sand dunes. Eritrea was destined for independence. The spirit of the people was unbreakable. The only question was, when and how messy would it get? The road to independence was never easy, but the Eritreans were ready for the challenge. Section 4, Freedom, time for a dance party, but hold the confetti. Finally, after decades of struggle, the day arrived May 24, 1993. Eritrea officially declared independence. Cue the music, bring out the injera, it's party time. The world watched as Eritrea, this small nation on the Horn of Africa, rose from the ashes of colonialism. It was a moment of pure joy, a victory hard-won and well-deserved. But let's be real, independence is just the beginning. It's like finally moving out of your parents' basement. Sure, it's awesome, but then you realize you gotta pay rent, buy groceries, and adulting is hard, man. Eritrea had a lot of work to do. Rebuilding a war-torn nation, creating a functioning government, and dealing with all the challenges that come with being a newly independent country. It was a daunting task, but the Eritrean people were determined to make it work. Section 5. Growing Pains. Eritrea's post-independence struggles. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the years after independence haven't been easy for Eritrea. It's like that awkward teenage phase where you're trying to figure out who you are, except on a national scale. There were border disputes with neighbors, always a crowd pleaser, political crackdowns, and economic struggles. It's tough to build a utopia when you're constantly putting out fires, you know? But through it all, the Eritrean people have shown incredible resilience. They've faced their challenges head-on, working hard to build a better future for themselves and their children. It's a work in progress, but hey, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was a stable and prosperous Eritrea. Section 6, Eritrea today, still standing, still figuring things out. So, where does Eritrea stand today? Well, it's complicated. The country is still ruled by a one-party state, and there are concerns about human rights and political freedom. It's not exactly a democracy activist's dream destination. But it's not all doom and gloom either. Eritrea has made some progress in areas like healthcare and education. And let's not forget those stunning beaches on the Red Sea. Seriously, they're like something out of a postcard. The Eritrean people are warm, welcoming, and proud of their hard-won independence. They've been through a lot, but their spirit remains unbroken. They're like that friend who's always down for an adventure, even if it means taking the scenic route. Section 7. The future of Eritrea. Time to shine? So what does the future hold for Eritrea? That, my friends, is the million-dollar question. Eritrea has the potential to be a beacon of hope in the Horn of Africa. It's got natural resources, a strategic location, and a population that's hungry for progress. But to achieve that potential, things need to change. Eritrea needs to open up politically, address human rights concerns, and create an environment where businesses can thrive. It's a tall order, but hey, nothing worth having comes easy, right? One thing's for sure, the Eritrean people have the strength, determination, and resilience to overcome any challenge. They've proven that time and time again. So here's to Eritrea, a nation with a rich history, a vibrant culture, and a bright future ahead. Keep your eyes on this one, folks, because Eritrea is just getting started.